the only way to Gaza is through Egypt, whether we like it or not. Because the other way is to go through Israel, and that defeats the purpose. Israel is the main, and actually this is what bothers me in this whole situation. That all the attention and all the criticism went to Egypt instead of going to Israel.
Yep.
This is what the Egyptian government did with their stubbornness and their, I'm sorry to say, stupidness. They saved Israel a lot of blame for what's happening in Gaza, and they got the blame for themselves. This is what the main problem. Actually, I want also to comment on what you were saying before about whether it is a failed demonstration or successful. I think the Egyptian government made it more successful. There was a big demonstration happened inside Gaza. Did you hear about it?
No.
You didn't hear about it. If you ask thousands of American people, they didn't hear about the one inside Gaza, which we were supposed to be part of it. Nobody would have heard about us, or actually some people who are really interested would have heard about us. But what the Egyptian government made in Cairo made the issue more popular. And look at YouTube, you know, everywhere you see videos and you see people talking about what happened in Gaza and what's happening in Cairo and why those people are trying to go to Gaza. They made the issue very, very well heard of. And instead of just letting us go peacefully to Gaza, maybe some people would have known about it, but now everybody in the world knows about it. So I think it is more successful than what we even dreamed of, that everybody knows about it. And I thank the Egyptian government for doing this.
Do you guys have any fears that possibly your names will be blacklisted from entering Egypt again? Is there a possibility of that happening?
Well, that's a possibility, and that's taken into account. And I would only reassure you that there are ways and ways of getting into Gaza out. This is all under advisement by those planning for this time next year. Don't despair. And while I'm on that, the things you mentioned about small boats going by sea and so on are the pesky mosquitoes that we decided we would become, staying back a block from the square and then rushing out at 9:58 in the morning. That really took them aback, I believe. I mean, they surrounded us, yes, but they did not prevent us occupying the square and stopping all the traffic. And we were in an arena where everybody who was anywhere close was determined to see what was going on and see what our signs read and all. So it wasn't, I agree with you, an overall failure.
No, it was not a waste, it was not a failure,
right.
no, not at all. A lot of us came back more determined to
and
help.
finally, because of papers I picked up in Jordan, coming through Amman, and things that I heard while I was there, there are much, much more important forces behind the scenes which are determined to break the impasse. And before next year rolls around, I think you will see dramatic happenings. It's not going to be 200 years and finally assimilation between the two peoples. There is too much in the 21st century. There is too much determination. Samud is the watchword of Palestinians, and that perseverance is going to show up in places altogether unexpected by the larger world.
Inshallah.
Let's talk about the aid that was supposed to get to Gaza through Viva Palestina. What happened? Were they eventually allowed to get in, or not at all?
They were allowed to go in. It was led by George Galloway,
Okay.
the British parliament, member of the parliament, House of Commons, I think. He's very outspoken about the Palestinian issue all his life, actually. And he prepared about 200 trucks with aid going to Gaza, medicine and food and items that they need inside. No weapons, of course. And that was something propaganda in Egypt that they might have weapons in there and we have to search those trucks. Okay, search whatever you want. You know. About 200 trucks, and they came crossing from Europe to Turkey, and most of the supplies came from Turkey. And then it went to Syria, and then to Jordan, and they were very close to Egypt from the eastern side of Egypt.
Yes.
So they asked it to land in a port, a seaport, near where they were, near Jordan, Aqaba they call it. The Egyptian government said no. We will allow you only to enter from Al Arish port, which is on the Mediterranean Sea, across.
Not the Red Sea.
Yeah.
So
Not
a
the
4 hour
Drive.
process would have taken, what, 4 days, 5 days?
Yeah, they had to go back to Syria and then go by sea, take ships from Syria down to Al Arish.
Yeah.
And of course that created a lot of struggle for this group, volunteer group, carrying supplies in good faith.
Driving
in
trucks.
good spirit.
They spent at least several days in Aqaba in Jordan.
And $300,000 that they hadn't expected to have.
And a lot of expenses, but and then at the end they had no alternative to accept the Egyptian government dictates by going back to Syria and coming through.
And they got, it costed them about $500,000 more to
Yeah.
go back to Syria and then come back
Right.
by
That's
sea.
right.
And they did that because the Egyptian government is very stubborn. They are not going to let you in unless you come from Al Arish. So they went back and came from Al Arish. But even with that, when they arrived at Al Arish, the Egyptian government is putting obstacles in front of everybody.
Still.
They are masters in that. They said, okay, we are not going to allow 60 of those vehicles to enter. Just this 140.
Yep.
Why? We did everything you asked us for. Why you prevent those? There is no reason. Negotiation, there is no reason. There is no, coming back. There is
Maybe the guy wanted a bribe, maybe.
very, very stubborn. And,
Yeah.
I mean, this was top officials of the government, so I doubt that at that level. And finally, they had clashes. Actually, we have a video showing some clashes with volunteers who came with Viva Palestine.
Yeah, it was,
Actually, we were
got really
lucky.
rough at Al Arish.
Compared to what happened to Viva Palestina, we were very lucky.
Really?
Yeah.
They turned water cannon on them at Al Arish.
Okay. They have a video showing that, if you guys can get it ready. And while the video's playing, we can also just continue our conversation.
This one has audio, has very good audio because it is describing.
Oh, well, we have
what's
just
happening.
1 minute left, I was just
Okay.
told, so
Oh.
we'll probably show it on a future show. But I do want to thank all my guests coming on tonight. It was very interesting chatting with you guys about the situation in Gaza and also your adventure, your journey to try to march to Gaza. Although the physical journey did not happen, I think that you guys did accomplish a lot by letting the world know that people actually care about what's going on in Palestine, in Gaza. And I want to thank you guys for your efforts overseas. And we will have a show maybe discussing this again in the future, possibly closer to Act 2 before you guys depart. I would love to have you guys on the show again and talk about that. And again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and we will see you next time.